This is it. Last video. And I decided to change it up a little bit. First off, don't mind the room. It's messy. We're in the middle of doing a bunch of laundry and we're starting to pack for the next trip. So, don't mind that. But I did figure I should probably do this video before, like the very end of the video, so then it kind of makes sense. So, obviously today was a huge day. We stopped in St. Thomas, which was the last full day of the cruise. And I knew, like, when I booked this cruise that we had to go to Magen's Bay. I was like, that's my name. Kind of a giveaway that we're going to have to do that. And I had read that it was, like, a very beautiful beach. It's been named, like, the Caribbean's, like, most beautiful beach many times. So it's kind of a no-brainer that we had to go do it. Long story short, I had a feeling, like, in the fall time when we started, like, really doing some research about this trip, that he would propose on the trip at Magen's Bay. I had told him, I was like, I had a few requirements for whenever the day came that we got engaged. One, that it wasn't going to be around a bunch of people. And two, it was somewhere pretty. That was all I cared. So that basically meant, please don't propose at an Iowa football game, is what that meant. But we went ring shopping in the fall time, and then, like, life got busy. I got a new job, and we moved to another part of Des Moines, and so I just figured, like, oh, he might have not had time to go get it. Well, as I learned later on, he actually went and bought the ring in, like, February and knew that he was going to propose at Magen's Bay. I really set him up for success with that one because it was a pretty beach, and I'm a little bit more an early bird, so I like to get there early. So we got there at basically opening time, so there wasn't really anyone there. But kind of how he played this up. During the week, he was kind of messing with me in a way. He, like, if anyone's been on a cruise, you know, each cruise port has a bunch of shops around it, and there's always a Diamonds International. And so he'd be like, oh, do we need to go and do ring shopping at Diamonds International for you? And I'd get, like, all but hurt and say, I have a ring picked out. I know what one I want, whatever. And so he was really fooling me. And then, like, before we left on the trip, my mom asked, this Saturday before we left, she was like, do you think it's going to happen? I was like, well, if you haven't heard anything, then I don't think it's going to happen. Because I had told him it was a requirement that he had to ask for my parents' blessing. I did find out he did it the next day. He did it on Sunday before we left. But yeah, the morning of, and I will give him credit, he did not act suspicious. He was playing it off really well. Obviously, now looking back, I'm like, oh, there were definitely some hints. First off, he went and bought the ring with his mom, and then she hid the ring for the month. And then the Saturday, like 2 Saturdays before we left, he was going to get the ring from his mom at his brother's track meet. His brother runs collegiate track. And I was like, well, let me go with you. Because he hadn't been to a track meet. And I was like, his brother goes to Wartburg. And so that's like a 2.5 hour drive from here. More like 2 hours. And I was like, well, I'll just, like, give you some company, you know? And he was like, oh, it's okay. You don't have to. Well, now I know that ideally he probably didn't want me to go because the Great Ring Exchange was happening at that point. And I was, like, clinging on to him the entire day. I would not leave him alone. Like, even towards the end of the day, he was like, let me go give my mom a hug, which is when the ring exchange was going to happen. I was like, oh, let me come with you. And he's like, no, like, please don't come with me. I still came. From what I understand, his mom hugged him and, like, slid the ring in his pocket when she was hugging him. So shout out Tiffany for that. But yeah, so by the time the cruise came around, I was pretty convinced he was not proposing. Between my mom saying what she said. Obviously, I didn't know. And then I was just like, when did he have time to go get a ring? I have no idea. Because the place that I found the ring that I like was 30 minutes away, like across town, across Des Moines. And I was like, I don't know when he would have went and got that without me. Well, he did. He went and got it when they were cleaning out his grandpa's house to sell it, which is in Altoona, and that's where the ring shop was. So that's when he got it. But anyways, I was super convinced it was not happening, and I did not have like my hopes up. My coworkers were probably more convinced than I was that it was going to happen at this point. But anyways, morning of, we take a taxi down to Magen's Bay, get settled, and Brayden had said like a couple days before, oh, maybe we should do like a fun video because, you know, it's your beach, why not? And I said, oh, okay, like kind of random. I didn't think too much of it. It was just kind of weird that we didn't do it any other beach, but we're gonna do it at this one. And I should have started reading into this a little bit, but at the time, again, I was so convinced it wasn't gonna happen. He had asked me many times that week, like what I was gonna wear to that beach, and I was like, a t-shirt and shorts like I do to every other beach, trying to edge me on to like wear something a little nicer. Again, super oblivious. That's how I ended up in t-shirt and shorts, and my hair's in ponytail. But also, my hair's in ponytail like all day, every day, so maybe it's appropriate. But we get there, we get settled, and also, like, obviously one of my requirements was not a lot of people need to be around to watch us get engaged. So he had to do this like right away because this beach gets very busy. So he was like, let's go down like to the other side, like not where all the beach chairs are, off to the side. So we wander down there, and I set up my camera, and he's like, okay, like, what do you want to do? And I was like, just jump? I don't know. And so we do like 1, 2, 3, jump, and you hear me go like, what? Because he didn't jump. Well, he obviously had his hand in his pocket, as the video shows, and he got down at me. So I was utterly surprised. People ask, like, did you think it was going to happen? Like, absolutely not. I figured, like, months ago, if he wasn't going to do it this trip, it'd be Canada, because we're going to go there this summer. But I was so convinced he was going to do it that I was like, oh yeah, it's going to happen in Canada then. But it happened here. And the video is obviously from my camera, but we had a lot of people around us who took their videos and took pictures. They just saw it happen and were super nice and took them for us. So we appreciate those people, that's for sure, because that's obviously once in a lifetime and you're never going to get that time back. So yeah, we're obviously engaged now. I do not have my ring right now. It is getting resized, which honestly kind of works out because we're heading on a trip soon and I don't want to worry about losing that thing. But yeah, enjoy my camera's perspective on the engagement. Guys, this is my beach. It's literally called Magen's Bay. It's so wonderful.
Igual soon, okay?
Last night, with a new piece of jewelry. So I hope you enjoyed the cruise series. It was such a good trip. We had a ton of fun. We have cursed ourselves into never being able to stay in anything but the Haven ever again. A lady warned me about that on the first day, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't think that's going to be us. No, it's definitely us. Again, shout out Tiffany for that. But, yeah, we had a wonderful time. The Haven was well worth the money. I couldn't speak enough of it. The staff was incredible. J2, Esme, a lot of the waiters that we had were just fantastic. It was great food, great service, and I'm definitely excited to be in the Haven again and get that royal treatment. Now that we know how the Haven works, we definitely know like what we can and can't do, and we're gonna take full advantage of it. But yeah, overall, I didn't mind the Epic too. Again, Haven experience is a lot different than just the normal cabin experience. I will say it was super, like, the cruise was sold out, so it was super nice to be able to have our own space, go to our room, or go, to the lounge, go to our own bar, and it was very relaxing. That is how I describe that place, is you didn't have to worry about crowds, and it was great because of that reason. And just, if you had questions and you needed something booked, canceled, whatever, they were there 100% to help you out. You technically are the first ones to get off the ship on the last day, but we didn't leave. Our flight didn't leave till like 3:30, so we hung around in the lounge until I think like 10:15, And then that was when they finally said, get off. We had to leave our room by, I think, 7:30 because they were obviously needing to flip them to get the next guests on board. But yeah, it was a very smooth disembarkation process. I think by the time we stepped foot off the ship and we're out and waiting for an Uber was 5 minutes. So they had all the luggage bags organized super well as well. But yeah, cruising out of Puerto Rico was great. Super cool to see so many different places in such a short time. I will say, I don't mind a sea day now though. We were very tired, especially myself. Like on day 5, whenever St. Lucia was, I crashed so hard that night. So a sea day is definitely a nice time to just like rejuvenate, revitalize, give vacation an A+. I was pretty sad to come home, that is for sure. Got a nice tan from it, but definitely glad that we don't have to wait too much longer to hop on the next one. As you can see, we are packing and doing laundry currently. So, yeah, stay tuned for the next series. It'll probably be up end of May time, middle of May, after we get back.